Yeah. Got to get rid of that Don Corleone stuff, too. Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Mariner of Spirit. I'm Greg. I'm your host, and tonight, down the road here a little bit, because we're having some technical difficulties, we'll have Mr. Bill Hauser on. But before he comes on, I'll go ahead and get rid of all the other stuff, get it all out of the way. Number one, I want to go ahead and mention the people I support. We have Autographs with Tim Miley. Tim Miley started this organization, nonprofit organization for sheltered animals. He lost his pup when he was young, and the pup died, and he didn't know if he was going to be able to handle it. And I have to excuse myself because I'm getting feedback, so I'm hearing myself twice. So please bear with me. He was able to go ahead and come around a little bit, and he went ahead and had a picture of his pup and took a pic of him and his pup, and he took it to a Paracon. He had copies made up and went there, and what they did was they went ahead and he started selling pictures, and he thought, why not? And that's how it all started, Autographs. So he started doing that at Paracons, and then finally he came up with this idea of going ahead and having events. And some of the best events around today are Autograph events. I've enjoyed the ones that I've been to, and I really wanted to go ahead and do another one this year, but I'm pretty packed till like September. So he's a great guy. His wife is fantastic. They've done some great things now that they're together and they have a family. And I want to say I can't think of her name. It starts with an H, I want to say. But anyway, this whole night has been sort of crazy for me. So I have issues going ahead and getting things together, and it's been one of those nights. So anyway, that's number one. Number two is PKC, Paranormal Kicks Cancer, with Chris Gaskowski and Alex Wilkinson, and they're from down in Florida. And they do events the same way. They do events around the United States, and what they do is they go ahead and raise money via these events and haunted houses and things like this for cancer research. If you ever run into Chris or Alex, be sure to go ahead and say hi for me. And they're great people also. They do a lot of great things, and I really enjoy the fact that I know them. Thirdly is the Jessica Petrie Foundation, parent, and that is the resource for expecting mothers and families of pregnant women with mental illness. And that was founded by her father, Howard Petrie, who was the founder of PUN, Paranormal United Network, or Parallax now. And great network. It's got lots of great shows and great people. So if you get a chance, shout out to Howard, or if you get an opportunity to have some extra cash and you want to give it to the Jessica Petrie Foundation, if you can't find an address online for it from going through Howard Petrie, that's Petri. If you can't do that, then get a hold of me and I can help you out. So that's the people that I support. And then it's from there I go to my authors. And the authors that I support, people that I've had on the show, and these are all people that have some great books. And number one is Bruce Holliday. Number two is Tobias Wayland. Three is Adam Benedict, Kathy Kressel, Barnaby Jones, Sherilyn Cotter, Dr. Heather Lee Langdon, Lynn Monet, Ron Iacovetti, Victoria Munday, Tony Rathman, Natalie Jones, Patty Negri, Sylvia Schultz, Amelia Cotter, Rex Nielsen, David Sloan, and Christina Bloom. So that's the authors, and I guess we're still on hold, so I'll just start going ahead and talk a little other stuff. We're revamping the programs, so there's going to be some changes. I know I'm going to be keeping my network times, I hope, and we'll be having a meeting and conducting and trying to figure out how we're going to handle this. I know that if it wasn't for Katie and Katie Stafford, those are the people that gave me the opportunity to do this. And right now I'm sort of shell shocked, like I had said to Katie, that the way that this day is gone, I'm just like, I've been beat up. And I'm trying to go ahead and make it through. And if I make a few mistakes here or there, please bear with me. The whole thing in a nutshell is the fact that what we have to remember as podcasters is there's people that we work for. And I happen to be with the Staffords, and the Staffords have been nothing but the best for me. I love the fact that we have almost like a family type atmosphere, and they've always done the best for me, and they're really great. And Katie is a great box builder. He's done a lot of great boxes. I've got a lot of boxes here in the room right now that he has put together. And he has a new one that's out. I don't know how many he's made, but I want to reserve one for myself, and that's the bell. And I don't care when it comes, when I have to go ahead and take care of it. And it's another one of those machines that you see a lot of them that it's like just the little bell that you'd have at a service counter, where you just hit that little knob on top and the bell goes off. This one's similar to that, but I think it's a little bigger. And Katie also has a great network of people in the community that are great too. So you've got all the people that have been Austin Maynard, Jay Prather, and then everybody down the line. You could go all the way down, all the different ones that have gone ahead and done a great job, and it's great. I mean, to know all these people. We don't know what the subject is yet. We have a guest we're trying to get in right now, and that's Mr. Bill Hauser from up in Canada, from Vancouver area, and we're having some technical difficulties in getting them to come through. I know we we've had some good shows, and then every once in a while we'll have one like this where, and I'm not saying it's not going to be a good show. It's probably going to be a great show because we turn it around. And the people that we have that'll be on tonight, Bill Hauser is an exceptional person, and I've always been a fan of his from day one. And he does basically the same thing that I do, and we all do certain spirit box sessions, and I carried mine into a different realm as far as the Estes method was concerned, and learned all about that before I decided upon it. And once I went ahead and went through with it, it was like it's second nature now. So, and we have a great show on Wednesday night, which happens to be on Spirit Connect. And if you haven't seen the show, take some time and watch one of them. And we're on the verge right now of not only doing a lot of great work with Double Estes from our other groups across the country. We bring them all in. Hey, Joe. And hey, Russ. Annette, Shaw Woman, Barbara, and Carol. Thank you, guys. I know it's pretty hard to go ahead and listen to me like this, but it's the way it is right now. Where was I? We were talking about spirit boxes, and we're talking about communication, and we're talking about Wednesday's show. And Wednesday's show, like I said, with Spirit Connect, has been a show that's been going on for quite some time. And I've got a great group of people that are like resident members that come on. And then I have our people that are our revolving guests. And we're going to be picking up like one group or two groups, maybe. And what's really cool about that is the fact that these people are in other parts of the country, and so we bring them in, and you have two people doing a double Estes, and what we're doing is when we split the people. So in other words, the two people that come from, say, for instance, Texas or other areas, here we go. Okay, I'll continue that sometime when we have some extra time. Until then, but now my guest. So we're ready to go.
Okay.
Hey, Bill.
Dan here.
Okay. Are you doing okay? Everything
Yeah,
going
just,
okay?
Maybe.
For those that don't know this is Mr. Bill Hauser. He's from Vancouver area in Canada. He's a great spirit box guy. Does a lot of great experiments with spirit boxes, and he's where to go. Something just happened again. Oh, Jim, I'm sorry to hear that you're in the hospital. We'll send some prayers, white light prayers. Hope everything's going okay.
Sorry about that, but I managed to get back into the room there. So, yeah, definitely it's been a big technical situation there tonight.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm here, so
it's great. It's great to have you on, my friend.
Yeah, well, that's good.
It's always good to see you, and it's great that you're here, and you're a wealth of information when it comes to ITC and communication. And I I have a few questions to start off. Well, number one, why don't you let everybody know a little more if I haven't filled all the blanks in, because there are
Okay.
some people on here that probably don't know too much about you.
Okay, well, I'm basically an ITC specialist in the sense of using the Ghost Box and communicating with it in person, or it could be on a radio show like this, or it could be myself doing my own videos, whatever it may be. I use the Ghost Box and it seems to work well. And I live in the Metro Vancouver area of British Columbia, Canada.
That's great. It's a lot of fun, and I know you're still using that little box.
Yep. Oh, yeah, I still use that. It's nice and compact, so it's great when you go out. And it works really well. It's nice and clear. It comes through well on, when you're using, like your mobile phone or whatever, if you're recording a quick session or something when you're on the go.
That last one that you put out was pretty interesting.
Oh, yes, yes. That was at the
Some
school
people got
grounds at
killed.
John Oliver, where the tragedy took place there last month. The Lapu-Lapu Filipino Festival was an outdoor festival that they were using the grounds of the school. So they had blocked the back street off there and had all the food trucks. And that's basically where this guy got in and ran a lot of people over. 11 people dead and lots of people seriously injured. And also a lot of eyewitnesses. They're also suffering PST or whatever they call it, post-traumatic stress. And so yeah, it was a real shocker for a lot of people. Yeah, we do get murders, but not like that. So this was, with a car, he used basically an SUV and ran people over.
So that's great.
Yeah, see,
That
that area was actually blocked off, and I'm wondering if he just got waved in because he was an Asian guy. So I'm thinking maybe, they thought he was part of it or whatever, or maybe one of the volunteers that was manning the barricade area for vehicles coming into the restricted area. So, that's just my thoughts on it. So. But anyway, I have a lot of friends that are Filipino and friends on that. So I asked them if they wouldn't mind me doing something like this. And they said, yeah, it's okay. But just don't do it down where all the flowers and pictures and stuff on the sidewalk along the fence there, the perimeter of the school to the street there. So I said, okay, I can do that in the sports field. And they said, that's great. So I just made reference over to the fence that they had memorial stuff going there.
That's great because you give the respect that's due.
Yeah, I wanted to do this, and since I knew quite a few people, friends in the community, I could ask, and it wasn't just like me going in there really cold, shall we say, not knowing anything about their customs or just generally for me, I always like to be respectable when I go out and do things.
So is that small box your favorite box right now?
Well, it's a go-to box right now, but I use the other one, that portal-like one as well, but I use that mainly at home. It's a little bit more hands-on, shall we say, in operating it. And then I have a few other radios that I can go to that I know work quite well as well. And then let's see, what else do I have? I got like old hack radios and all that. So, but those are a little more harder to hear, right? So this box here that I have works quite well. It comes through nice and clear, the responses and that. And that's what's important to those that really don't have an ear for listening to this, but they want to hear something, so some kind of response.
Do you feel or believe that you have better contact on AM over FM or FM over AM?
Well, to be honest with you, I use FM a lot, but my area AM, unless I'm a little bit out of the main, like on the outskirts of town or something like that, it might work a little better. But in town, there's too much disturbance now, so AM is, it's harder to hear when you get it scanning like that. So a lot of
you need an M-Com, Bill. We need to figure out how to get you an M-Com up there in VC.
Oh, well, there you go. I still have that box you gave me there. I bought off you there. That's pretty cool.
Which
That's
one?
the one. That's the
Oh,
one.
you talking the bigger one? Yeah.
It's just
That's
over
cool.
here, actually.
Yeah. Let's see it.
I'll show it to you. You remember this?
Oh,
one?
yeah, that's the old school one.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
man, that's a nano.
I like the old school.
This
Yeah,
one,
dude.
that's when KD wore shorts to school.
Yeah, that's right. That's when I first got
High socks.
feet dirty. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, it's nice, man. You're one of the few that have one of those. There's only
It's one of those rare radios that, like you say, I have that too with the direct link with Jay as well.
Yeah.
I have one of his originals. He only made, I think, about 7 of them, and I have one there, and that's what I used to use on the SOR when I did the radio show, the live Ghost Box sessions. And
Cool.
with that one, I was doing it in a car beside it was where a school used to be. It was adjacent parking lot to, it's now a park, basically. They made it into a park, so.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, the school was noted for being haunted. There was quite a few people that died around that school.
What is it
there.
with schools?
Oh, it's up
weird,
in my neighborhood there. It's Fleetwood
it's
Elementary.
like, there's a lot of schools, haunted schools. It's crazy.
Yeah, janitor committed suicide.
There's always some weird crap.
Some kids died in front of the school on the street, like the main street that it was on, ran over and stuff like that. And then one teacher, she got murdered as she got home.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so her spirit still hangs out still on that ground, shall we say, and that. So.
Right.
Yeah, I got a lot of, when I did that, I got a lot of stuff coming through, no question about it there. And a lot of weird stuff too, a lot of weird sound effects and stuff like that. And because, with Dave Scott, he was really into the UFO stuff because he's a contactee. So we would get some unusual, like almost robotic type voices or whatever.
That's neat.
Wow.
Yeah, so we had a lot of fun. It was good. I enjoyed that. So, it was good because he was the one that talked me into doing live Ghost Box sessions, and I really wasn't into that personally. Before that, if I went on talk radio, I usually had audio clips, and then we would talk about it, kind of thing. But this way, you got hands on. Yeah, anything can happen when you turn on the Ghost Box. So
and people can't say that you clipped it or edited your video or audio or anything.
Yeah. A lot of people know when I do record anything, it's always in the raw.
Right.
And,
you can never be accused of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're like, I guess you could. There's ways to do stuff. But,
people could tamper, or your account could get hacked or whatever.
There's always ways.
Yeah, if you're putting it out on the internet. So doing a live session. It was basically you didn't know who's going to come through or what, and we actually got one radio broadcaster from. He died, I think, back in the late 70s on a radio station that, Dave Scott was involved in journalism and radio journalism, and he actually worked for that radio station, and he recognized this guy when he announced his voice and the name.
Oh, wow.
Night. Yeah, so
that's cool.
He didn't want to talk about it too much after, so.
that adds a layer of credibility to it.
Yeah, because for whatever reason, my thoughts was with Dave, he wasn't really, he liked the Ghost Box and everything, but sometimes he just didn't seem to get it completely on how it worked and the contact fields, all this kind of stuff that you have to have with it. So, he thought you could just pick it up and start using it and you start getting stuff, right? So.
Yeah, you were talking about using AM and FM earlier. Have you ever tried shortwave?
Yes.
Shortwave is awesome. I love shortwave.
Yep.
That's why I like the ink boxes. You know, the ink boxes, they have the shortwave. They scan also on shortwave, and it's
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it breaks the band up into different widths, right? So you can choose like the bottom part of the shortwave band or the top. I'm sorry, Greg. I'm hijacking your show, bud. I'm gonna let y'all talk.
What?
Well, it's good to talk to you, Katie. I haven't talked to you for a while, so yeah, it's great.
It's more than a pleasure to have you on, Katie.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't feel like such an intruder now. Yeah, but the ink boxes, you know, just to throw this in, I've been experimenting myself with some stuff. I don't know if you've seen it. I call it the Knox method. It's kind of like, imagine the Estes method, but instead of using a person, you're using hey Jim, you're using the computer to
I see. Okay.
to listen, but you can't do it just normally, right?
No.
You have to do it in reverse. So you have to have the reverse audio, and it's crazy, man. It's so crazy.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, so I've got a reverse ink box, right? And it will play the audio, all the audio. What it does is records 4 seconds ahead and then streams the audio back in reverse, right?
Okay. So there's a slight delay then for when you get
delay, but you don't notice it. You don't notice it at all.
So it happens really fast.
Yeah, it happens fast. It's 4 seconds. You turn it on. It's not. I don't even think it's 4 seconds. It's a couple seconds, but you turn it on. You get like a couple seconds, and bam, you're going. And then you know, but in reverse, it takes out that it was probably a radio station crap that you hear from a lot of people sometimes. So even if it's a radio station coming through, it's not going to sound like anything intelligent.
Yeah, the remnants of broadcast radio, or maybe a rock and roll station or something.
Sure. But it's also in reverse. So you're not
reverse. So it's going to get garbled up even more.
Be garbled, right?
Yeah.
And so you should hear nothing but like garbled audio, but when
more gibberish.
When you run it through the through the speech to text, right? And you can even do it with your phone. Just put your phone right next to it and speech to text, and then your phone will listen. And I swear to God, you get crazy responses.
That's a pretty cool way to do it. So
and I've just messing around on the computer one night, come up with a way to capture the speech on live on stream and play, so you can't hear the audio from the box. All you can see is when the speech to text picks up and actually hears something, and it'll spit it out. Yeah, and that's some crazy stuff. I just wanted to throw that out there.
That's very interesting. I mean, that's another way of doing ITC, and
it is
interfacing it with technology and so on. And I think that's pretty cool that you can do that. So
it is cool. If you ever think about it while you're doing some ghost box sessions, just throw your phone out there and speech to text. You probably have that app on your phone somewhere.
Yeah, probably.
If you don't, it's really easy. Go into your app store, and it's free. Download a speech to text, and it's crazy, man. I'll tell you, it really is. And Anyways,
I mean, a lot of the times the radio I'm using is just the radio that's been modified to a ghost box, and I like a lot of guys. I've collected a lot of boxes now since 2010 when I first started doing this. And again, my throw out to Steve Halty. He was the one that had the whole, back at that time, a lot of knowledge on his website.
I know Steve. Steve are good friends.
I was even on his radio show the next year, so that was pretty cool. It just sort of, the funny thing is, it just sort of happened how I got on his show, and then I guess because I was also just starting on ParaX, so. A lady talked me into coming on her show, and next I was on another person's show, and so on, and next I'm talking to the owner, Dave Jones, and so he gave me a few tippers about doing talk radio, and basically how to present yourself and be professional, and be relaxed
thing, right?
He says be yourself, be relaxed, and if you don't know about something, just say it. Don't don't commit to something if you don't know about it. So that's a good way to look at it. So
yeah, I'm more into reckless speculation.
Well, yeah, I've done that too a few times. So as long as it doesn't come back to bite you.
Yeah, I try not to get too edgy, you know. I try to
exactly.
Can I write that down?
Yes, sir. You may. Reckless speculation. That's what I
specialize. That's a good saying. I like that.
All right. Well, you guys, I'm gonna get off here and I'm gonna leave y'all to your show. It's gonna be a great show. It's gonna be the best show. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Katie, for your assistance earlier. Yep.
Oh, yes,
okay.
Sir.
Thank you.
That's my job.
Thanks a lot, Katie.
Okay.
Later, Greg. Later, Bill.
Okay. Bye-bye. Great guy.
Oh. Yeah, it was nice. I hadn't talked to him in ages, so it was really nice to talk to KD again. So
he is the magician.
Yeah, he managed to get the right link, and all the other links were not getting me anywhere, and it was blocking me basically. But anyway, I got on tonight, so that's the main thing. So
sometimes when he would ask me questions at that point, I'm on overload.
Yeah.
So I'm not coming up with the right answers, So
well, it's good that he intercepted, and then basically he sent me the right link, and then from that I was able to, because what it was is basically it wanted social media on my first device. That was the tablet, and that's the one I don't do any social media on. And then because I was on a radio show just a couple days ago, and I had no problem with the SteamYard link, and I connected just perfectly. So this time with Steam Link with you guys, it just, I don't know, it just something happened. There was some kind of weird glitch maybe in the system. I don't know.
Look at what did you see what Mr. Dorman just said?
No.
He says reckless speculation is going to a strip club expecting to get laid. Len.
Okay.
Len is an old friend. He's you were on his show too, weren't you?
Yeah, that was right. That's Len Dorman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just on his show the other night.
How did you have a lot of fun?
Oh, I had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I got to meet his producer as well, and she came on the show for a little while to talk, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. So yeah, it was good. I had a lot of fun doing that. I hadn't done talk radio for a little while, so I kind of took a step back from the fall of last year, and so it was nice to get back and have a little get your feet wet again and doing this. So
I was trying to get you on earlier, in the year.
Yeah, I know things didn't work out, and
we kept on going back and forth, and I apologize for that.
Yeah, well, it's no problem. A lot of times I'm quite busy on the weekends with my own personal social life and that. So a lot of times you hadn't given me a little heads up. This time you did, and then I was able to plan for it. So here I am tonight. So, but that's usually what happens. I mean, for me, I get busy with a lot of stuff in my private life as well, and then doing paranormal. Now I don't have to deal with these silly little groups around my area. I left them back in the fall, so or even being associated with some of them, they're too much politics and too much this, that, and the other, and then they acted like little social clubs. So I wasn't going to be part of that clique.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. I mean, that's just all part of this paranormal drama stuff. So that's why I'm wearing my T-shirt tonight.
The Paranormal Sideshow.
Yeah, there you go. Because you were saying to talk about paranormal stuff. So yeah, I thought, well, that might be appropriate as a paranormal sideshow. You get a lot of sideshows. I'm not trying to be nasty or anything, but there's sometimes I have to shake my head about some things I see, right? So
right. That's on the boxes, on the box end of it. You mentioned a portal.
Portal using the portal styled radios, yes. I've done that quite a few times.
Where did that one come from?
That one, I have it right beside me here.
Okay, is that from the U.S. or?
No, that's from the UK. That's from a guy in the UK.
Okay,
Last
that's the gentleman that you get all your stuff from.
Lately I've been buying off of him because of, well, you have to understand the Canadian dollar is quite low, and so I'm not taking much of a hit if it's the UK. So, okay, if I'm buying something out of the US, then I got to pay the exchange, and then of course your shipping and handling and all those little fees. So, and I think now because of all this tariff stuff going on too, there's like these little fees that you have to pay on top of that, even through like most of the time I deal with buying stuff through eBay, and so that works quite well for me, and it's actually saved some money buying a number of different things in paranormal, as well as some of my other interests out there as well. I find you get a better deal. So then if you were to go through a retail store online.
And you mentioned Jay Prather before.
Oh yeah, I know Jay. Yeah.
Now, the link that you were talking about.
Yes.
Could you explain that to everybody that's
in
the chat?
To explain it on that, I know now on some of his newer models he can't offer the same, so you have to touch the antenna. But on the older models, there was a special plate on the side that was worked into, and that was as soon as you touched it, your body acted as the reception to the radio. So he had this really interesting contact field happening, and depending on your whole emotional charge, everything while you're doing it, it just seemed to really work quite well for me. And so it was great. I know that concept had been used where I think handles were done on one. I think Tim Woolworth had one radio made like that for him by somebody. So same kind of concept, but that one, he actually found these little special plates, shall we say, that could interconnect to the circuitry of the radio for the reception, and then you touched it basically. So your body has a certain amount of level, like we're like what, 95% water or something like that. So we're very conductive in our bodies as an antenna.
I know when you talked about Tim, I had him on probably 3 years ago.
Yes.
Right after he was getting better.
Yeah.
After he had his little altercation. And, I don't know if you've been in contact with him. I was going to ask you.
A little bit through Messenger sometimes. I've sent him a few little things and he's liked or whatever, but we haven't really got into any major conversation like, in the past. So, I know he hasn't been very well and he's had a lot of setbacks and stuff like that. And I guess, he had his accident operations and stuff. So, last time I saw a photo of him on his site there, he was kind of really hunched over. So I really felt, pretty bad about it. So, I mean, it's sad to see him like that. So
he's a big guy.
Yeah, I've never met him personally, but I mean, he's always, been very nice to me. So the thing is, you hate to see somebody like that, with those kinds of mobility issues after operations and stuff like he's had. So
his brain took a lot of trauma.
Yeah, I could imagine. Yeah.
And I can relate to that because as I was growing up, I had three of them, and one of them was really bad.
Yeah.
But I know that when we were talking about him, he had a special box, and I had him on the show. And at the end of the show, he says, "You know what?" He says, if I'm on here and we're talking about ITC and spirit boxes, he says the least thing I could do is turn this box on.
Oh yeah.
So this is at the end of the show, and he turns the box on, And he goes ahead and he says, "Hey, how you doing? This is Tim."
Yeah.
And he says, "How are we doing tonight?" And it came right back at him. And he says, I want you to do me a favor." And the box sort of answered like, "Yes." And he says, "I want you to say hello to Greg here."
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And damn it if it didn't do it. Just like that.
Yeah.
Like clockwork. And it
Yeah.
was like, oh, holy cow.
Yeah, you get those responses and they happen really fast. And yeah, I mean, you can establish that there was an intelligent response, and, the entity, shall we say, recognizing you. And this is all done remotely when you're doing it over a radio show. So,
Right.
yeah, it's not like we're all together and Tim's got the box going. So it's that's the cool thing. It's done remotely, and yeah, it's amazing when you make those connections.
I wanted to bring up some meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Do you do any meditation
Oh yeah, yeah.
Before you go ahead and do your sessions?
Not so much before, but I do like to unwind. I do a little meditation. I have meditation tapes that I do off and on, and then I also, well, lately I've been playing around with these frequency generators that have basically like a rife like technology. So it's
Wow.
vibrational frequencies, and then of course it has a coil on top. And I'll show you. I'll just you might see them there.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I even got a real small one, and then you hook it up to a battery there, like one of those power bank batteries, and yeah, actually, I was getting some really interesting stuff, and you can tune into the ghost frequencies, and so even I have a little picture of myself, so it was still over it, and all of a sudden I just sort of let the sound, because it also has the audio sound, but it's like a tone. So if you have it too loud, it gets a little hard to hear. So have a bit lower. And
so why don't you explain ghost frequencies?
well, ghost frequencies are in the infrasonic levels, basically, from like way down there at 1 hertz right up to 20 hertz. And so anything really past 20 hertz will start to hear it. So this is kind of stuff that even dogs can hear. So it's in that spectrum of the hearing for the audio range and that. So, yeah. Again, yeah, I was doing that one day where I'm living. Nobody else was in the house because I live in a basement suite. So the landlord was out, and so was I have a neighbor next door. There's another suite to me, and he was out, and his kids were out at school, so they weren't here. And I got a drum-like sound happening, and it was like a hollow drum. And anyway, it happened a couple of times, and I was doing about a 20-minute or about a half an hour session, and it came through about midway, and so that was interesting because this was like a hollow kind of drum sound, and almost like a native sound, and this is similar sound that I was hearing. And also, you remember that lady I know on Vancouver Island that I go to visit occasionally?
Yes.
She gets these drum sounds on her property, and she thinks it's with the native people that used to occupy the area. Again, yeah, it was interesting. I mean, yeah, it happened. That's the thing, right? It had a similarity to those drums that we heard over there and what I heard. So, that's the only thing I could think. I let her listen to it too, and she thought the same way as I did. So, yeah,
wow,
it was interesting. Cool. It was like you tune in. So, eventually you tune into these frequencies, and you might have to film for a while or record or whatever. You'll eventually probably start to hear things happen. And if my photo's on the coil part, let me grab one of these. Let me just.
Okay.
These are,
Okay.
you see these, I got mine on eBay. So you can punch in down below there's a little keypad. You can punch in the frequency. On top, there's like a coil thing, so you can put your photo, and then there's a plastic acrylic casing, protective case, and then you can plug it in. It's got the audio and stuff. And if you want, you can fuse crystals or your vitamins or medicine or whatever with you can tune it into a pain management frequency, for acute pain. So I've
Is
been
that
doing a
almost
little bit of that as well.
okay? Is that close to binary beats? Would you?
Not really. No, binary
Not
beats
really.
is between your two brain hemispheres. This is just one audio tone
Okay.
of that frequency. So you may get a similar effect if you have the other, like I have 3 of them now, different models and makes and that. So I could probably get a bit of that effect, but that would only be me, where you get that,
Right.
okay, between the 2 frequencies, between your 2 hemispheres. So it smooths it out and gives another frequency. So I don't think that would do that, but what it can do is, help your, pain issues, mitigate them or whatever. So it has a medical side to it as well. It reminds me a lot of, have you ever heard of radionics?
Yes.
Yes. Well, it reminds me a little bit of radionics, where you got to stick a photo of yourself. And on the back of the photo, I put a little hair sample and that. So it kind of knows where to go, kind of thing, the frequency, shall we say, to me. So that's the cool thing. So it could be done remotely away from there. I don't have to be in my suite for it to work. I mean, I could be out while it still does the job.
I know. When I brought up meditations, the reason I brought it up is because on the Wednesday show, we try to set the intent with the people that are in the comment section.
Yeah.
So they all have the same intention for us to communicate with spirit.
Yeah, well, it sounds like accommodating that, and then also like a group consciousness.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, have you done any of that too?
I've done a little bit of group consciousness in the past, and that's been kind of interesting in itself. But a lot of that was tied into doing a little bit of CE5. So basically, you're kind of giving the intention of seeing something in the sky. And then when the anomalies of the unusual lights appeared, it just the timing couldn't be any better when I did see these things and that. So
it was
and I
right
had a
on the
pair of
button.
binoculars, so I was able to look at them pretty clear. And it definitely didn't look like any plane or drone or even a satellite, because satellites move very, east to west. Unless it's a military one, they would go diagonally. But the thing is they usually, those kind of satellites, they move on a certain course, right? So these were kind of moving whatever way they wanted to.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's happened. I mean, it's just like those videos I showed you about a year ago. I mean, over on Vancouver Island. So the thing is that was actually a little bit of CE5, a little ahead. Then we went out, and sure enough, one came by to visit, and it allowed me to film it just briefly. And then also it flashed back when I asked for, it's to respond. So it powered up. In other words, that they like the term power up. So if you can power up, it kind of illuminates.
Wow.
And then it's just sort of moved and faded away. So yeah.
So are you
But you
going to
saw
make
that video, so I mean,
Yeah.
it's so it was
I thought it was really, really cool.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, it responded to when I said power up. It soon after it lit up.
That whole area up there is fantastic.
Yeah, well, Vancouver Island has a lot of weird stuff going on there. No kidding about it. Cameron Lake, lake monsters, UFOs, little people, native traditions, and lore, and all kinds of stuff going on over there. So haunted places from for example, coal mining. There was a lot of coal mining, the Nanaimo and places like that. Accidents took place. So yeah, it had a long history of stuff going on there.
If you were to pick one box out of all the boxes you have, what would be your special one?
Oh, okay. Well, that's kind of a tough question because I like them all in their own ways, but I do have my go-to boxes. So out of the go-to ones, it probably would be this one for now. What
Okay.
I've used for video, and then doing the odd show here and there. So, and then in private sessions, I've done this with people online. Done that as well, and yeah, it's worked pretty good overall. So,
do you think your box would work through here right now?
yeah, might as well. I mean, the thing is I mean, you got to look at tonight. I had a lot of little blockages, and then finally Katie was able to send me the right link, and it allowed me through. So it kind of, to me, is sort of like, what's going on here kind of thing.
You think it was more than that?
Well, I'm not going to say so, make any weird, reckless speculations like KD, but anyway, you just don't know. You don't know, but hanging out with the UFO lady, she's had a few encounters with. She's felt that she's being surveyed by. Well, she lives very close to the base there, so people, kind of keep an eye on her as well. So, but she's a pretty, well-known, in her own right, contactee, right? So. There's in BC we have a few really well-known contactees, right? So, but they've had I'm not going to say for sure, but they believe they were being surveilled by the authorities to be. So again, I mean, take it for what it's worth, right? So
right,
yeah. I mean, you start talking about UFOs on the internet, I'm sure you're going to get the intelligence community kind of wondering, well, what's going on here?
There was a show.
Really, yeah. So
there was a show that you were on that was pretty late at night. And I'm trying to remember the name of it right now. And this was like last year or the year before, last 2 years, and had a guy, and he had his headphones on.
Is that the fellow with kind of like, I think he kind of had his hair back like a ponytail kind of, and sometimes a bandana or something wearing on top of his head?
Yeah.
Oh, that's our local medium here, a friend of mine, Derek White Sky Cloud. I was on his show for about 10 months, and then I decided to step down back in September or whatever. Yeah, he has a lot of weird stuff happening around him. So you put me together and him together, we're going to have some interesting sessions online with, with him. I guess he's using YouTube or something to broadcast. So I can't get LinkedIn from my place to his, so I had to actually physically go over to his place, and he had like a little studio set up, and yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it for the time that it was good, and I mean, we had good participation and a lot of people liking and viewing and stuff after the show as well. A lot of viewers and that, so yeah, it was good.
What percentage of your shows or your conversations that you have concern, say, for instance, alien spacecraft compared to paranormal spirits?
I would say it'd be more paranormal, more about people and the people wanting me to get a hold of their loved ones, not so much about alien contact, unless it's a show that's kind of geared for UFO and that. But thing is, I can call out to an alien, but I mean, are they going to answer all the time? maybe not, maybe, or, or what are we going to listen for sure? Like that robotic sound or something like that, right? Something a little unusual than your normal responses. So, yeah, I mean, it's also the sensations I get too, like the psychic feelings that I get while I'm doing the sessions as well. And then if you have other people that are, viewing and they're sensitive themselves, they'll pick up on things as well, right? So I've had that as well.
So I'm sitting here going, Bill, it's okay. You're not alone.
That's right. Well, I knew I haven't been alone for a long time, so
that's the amazing part. That we could go ahead and we could use all sorts of different forms or applications, and we all seem to go ahead and be able to do the same kind of communication.
Yeah, exactly.
And it makes it so much more interesting.
Yeah.
Because that's why I enjoy having you on, because you come on with an entirely different perspective than a lot of people in the community around here do.
Yeah.
And it's, and I don't do as much investigating as I used to.
Yeah.
And now when I do it, I prefer to do it be by myself.
Yeah, that's kind of where like my title says, I'm an independent paranormal researcher and investigator, basically. So I had to kind of get back to what I was, not being an affiliated fellow with certain paranormal groups around here. I call them more like social clubs. So I just got tired of all the little things going on and all that kind of stuff. And then, the inner fighting between different groups, I've seen that as well. And I just said, no, I don't want none of this crap for me anymore. So I got out of high school to get away from that, I said.
So
yeah, I don't need that little drama. I've gotten away from that. So the thing is life has drama in itself, so I don't need to have extra. And it's unfortunate, but it does happen. So when you have more than one person, you're going to have conflicting personalities sometimes, and personality clashes, all kinds of stuff, right? I mean, it's one thing to make a statement that I may not agree, and I give a point on something, and then I'll have to look and go, maybe this guy has a really good point. And so I always tried to use a little bit of rationing with all that kind of stuff as well. And I mean, at the same time, I mean, you're always learning. I mean, I definitely don't know it all, that's for sure. I'm probably the least guy that's in the know on that. So
just when you come on, I end up at the end of the show and I'm trying to remember. So if you see me and I look down and like I'm trying to write something, it's usually something that I have to go ahead and go over a little bit and pay attention to, because you're one of those guys that you know what I mean. And that's important.
Well, I kind of know from my experiences. That's kind of where I've come from, and doing ghost hunting for quite a number of years before I actually started doing ITC. I mean, in a sense, we all were doing that as ghost hunters with a digital recorder, or back in the day, a cassette player one like I had, and using all those kind of things. And so, that's a form of ITC right there, EVP sessions. So move it up to a radio. And so I would tend to treat my ghost box sessions a little bit like an EVP session. So I had kind of a set, it was more or less organized, shall we say. It wasn't just a bunch of random hokiness kind of thing that happened with it. I would land at a random location, but I would still do it in a set way, the sessions and everything that would have order to them, at least as much on my side, because again, I always tell people I don't really have control about who comes through or what they say, or if they use foul language or foreign language. I get that quite a bit around here, and all these little things, right?
Okay, I had a question here, and I'm sorry, Jenna and she's calling herself Goober in the starry sky now.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm real curious. I wonder if you can use theta or delta waves in ghost hunting.
Well, that's a good question, actually. I think that question is they're thinking about certain aspects. Okay, delta, well, that's sleeping.
Yes.
Yes, you're sleeping basically. So, yeah, I mean, well, I mean, there's this thing called astral travel. We travel out of our body, and sometimes we remember what some of this is about. And I think I told you about the experience I had like a couple of years back with Bruce Holiday, and he got a hold of me and told me my voice came over his ghost box. So he sent me the audio, and I listened to it, and sure enough, my voice did come over, and I just announced myself as Bill Hauser. And of course, I was sleeping at that time, and so that was the weird thing. He was up because they're like, on the East Coast, 3 hours ahead of Pacific Standard Time. So, and he was up early in the morning, and I was still sleeping at my end. So, yeah, this is really weird, but I have heard of this before, this type of communications. Actually, Tim Woolworth had a similar experience, but with somebody that he knew.
Yeah,
that he thought, well, did they pass away or whatever, right? So they come over to their ghost box, right? So
it stops and makes you think.
Yeah, so it probably did the same to Bruce, right? He got a hold of me right away, and of course, he probably relieved when I replied back to him. But I mean, the thing is, yeah, you just don't know what's going to come through the ghost box at times.
That's the brilliant part about it.
Or sometimes you do, like, especially I've done in events and that when I've done sessions around balls of light go moving around, or people start getting touched or whatever, and or like touching, or sometimes rubbing of the hair or whatever, but nothing violent, just kind of curious.
Let you know.
Yeah, just like they're there kind of thing. And so I've had that a lot when I've done sessions and that. So, and my thought on that is, if you turn a ghost box on, you're stirring up the local ghosts, basically.
You see, that goes right in line with what we were doing on our group on Wednesdays, because we've had on replays, going back and replaying the show.
Yeah.
We've been catching EVPs.
Yeah.
Outside of what we were doing in our sessions.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's exactly what that was.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, so when you get this, it's like a side reaction to what you're doing, and it starts to make sense, and all of a sudden you start seeing almost like a little pattern, and it's responding in such a way that sounds intelligible. So yeah, that's kind of how you have to look at it, or at least I do anyway. So
everybody wants to join the party.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Well, when you do ghost tours and that, the ghosts are all hanging around, following you around, basically. So when you open up a ghost box, turn it on, yeah, you got instant communication right away to them. And yeah, it's pretty cool.
So what is your favorite location?
Around this area? Oh, again,
besides the island.
Oh, okay. Locally, I would say New Westminster. That was the formal capital of British Columbia, the township there, or it's a city. It's all part of Metro Vancouver. That was originally the capital before they moved it back in the late 1800s to Victoria. It was during the the gold rush time or whatever, so they did that. So. But anyway, I would say New Westminster. It has a lot of history there, and then of course they had some institutions there that created a lot of, I think, in hindsight, a lot of paranormal activity in the general area. People have seen a lot of stuff even after these institutions are torn down, and then things have been rebuilt over. But yeah, the cemeteries are still there from these institutions and that. So one of them would be the BC Penitentiary. Boot Hill is where the cemetery. I've been in there lots of times, and now that's been turned into basically like a little park. There you can go in it. They put it all into a nice gate and fence around it, but you can go in there and unlatch the thing on the gate and go in. So, but it's nice what they did with it. So, again, there's a big ravine going down about 70 feet down, so they really couldn't build too close to the side there for high rises and stuff like around it. So, yeah. So, and again, it had historical meaning to it. So, again, that would be, if they blacktopped it over, that would have created a big controversy. So it's glad that they kept it and, at least turned it into what it is, like a little park. A lot of times old cemeteries here have been kind of turned into parks, like in Victoria, Ross Bay Cemetery. You can't bury anybody more in there now. It's all full up, but it's treated as a park, and the city guys go in there and do their landscaping and gardening and maintenance and stuff that needs doing. So, but again, a lot of prominent citizens buried there, and then there's a lot of mediums from from England coming over, especially during the gold rush times. That was a wild town, Victoria. It was kind of like the Wild West. There was a lot of money being thrown around, a lot of guys coming in, a lot of guys coming up from California from that gold rush to our gold rush up here, and then eventually up into the gold fields in the interior British Columbia.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah, a lot of history there, and a lot of towns along the way up to Barkerville, and that they've had hauntings as well. The ranch that I've gone to, I would say that would be right up there at the top. I really enjoyed, and that's Hat Creek Ranch, and that was quite haunted as well. And the original, it's like a little inn, basically, where the stagecoaches would come up, and you could stay overnight there. All that's still fully intact. It's been probably renovated a little bit, but most of the original stuff is still there. So that's a cool place, and that was fun investigating, and the history that went with it as well. So,
oh, that's something.
Yeah, actually, in front is still the gravel road from the days of when, basically the dirt road that they called the wagon road, going all the way up to Barkerville. So, actually, where I live, Fraser Highway, close to me here, was part of that too. It was all part of the wagon road that would come through, because they came up through where I am, through that way.
So you spend any time out east?
Not really. No, it's more I've gone to Alberta a few times, and then of course I've been overseas, and then I've gone to Washington State a few times, investigations and special events and stuff like that. So BC is such a big place, so there's lots to see here and do. So I mean, Victoria is another place that's got a lot of hauntings, of course, and then like I say, the history that goes with it, and then there was politicians, like I say, buried in there at the cemetery at Ross Bay, and that, and a lot of people who might not know me now, but back in that time, that was when I first got the energy sucked out of me too. And basically, I wasn't protecting myself back in that. I was a younger person. This is like well over 30 years ago, and here I am out there with, it was kind of a small group that I went with. I got invited, and bango, I got hit with it, and then the medium kind of recommended me doing protection after. And so after that, I've been a strong person for doing protections. And then, of course, people say, well, you're more, like mediums would say to me, you're more connected than you believe you are. And so you have to think of it that way. So I said, okay, that's fine. Now I know, and I know what I have to do. And yeah, I mean, I don't normally get that anymore, so I'm able to protect myself. But yeah, even so, I still, protect myself no matter where, and all that. It's very important. if you're not doing that, well, you're going to eventually have trouble. So I've seen that with people, and it's not fun. That's for sure.
No, it's not.
Getting an attachment and having it for a while and then trying to get rid of it, it's not easy. It can be very problematic, shall we say.
Even with the right people around you.
Yeah, and it also affects your health too. It's not just your mind and all that. It's also your general health too. I mean, when I had this, I was as white as a ghost, and it looked like I was sick or something. I was very pale looking, and that lasted for quite a while. And it felt like I had gotten like sick, like almost like the flu, but not. But it felt like it in some ways. It just felt, and then of course the aching feelings I got in my body, and it was not a pleasant experience. So, but it was enough to remind me you don't want to feel this way anymore. So you're going to have to protect yourself. So I was happy when that medium told me that. So because I never really back then thought about it. But you're young and you're naive, and you have to pay your dues, and so this is how you have to do it. You see the new people in there now in the paranormal, and they're all giggly at first and stuff like that, and chit chat and everything. And to me, it reminds me more of social clubs, and they really haven't paid their dues. So, I know some people that have paid their dues really hard in the paranormal, where they were physically attacked, hurt, scratched and beat up practically. And so, the spirit world is very real, and I'm very much aware of that. And so when people start to say, well, it'd be fun to try ghost hunting or whatever, I just sort of say, well, you're going to have to protect yourself, man.
Do you have any particular ways of protecting yourself?
I think that's individual, how you feel. Like some people might put a religious connotation to it and do prayers and stuff, and that's fine. Or prayer of white light around you, that's good. Or some people, they want crystals, but I recommend not to bring crystals on an investigation unless you're going to clean them.
Right.
And that just like quartz crystal will just amplify the spirits around. So
right.
Yeah. I don't have my stand with me, so I'm holding it here in my chair, so I'm using my arm for the phone here tonight. But considering what happened, I'm glad I got on tonight. So
that's awesome that you got on. I was worried.
Yeah, that's great.
But I will be going up. We'll be flying into Vancouver, or no, we're flying all the way up to Anchorage, I think.
Oh, way up there. Okay, Anchorage
on Father's Day, and then we're going to be taking a cruise back down Alaska.
Oh, okay. Do you stop? Does the cruise liner stop in Vancouver? Because we do have cruise ships that come into directly.
Yeah, that'll be at the end.
Yeah, so you directly go into Seattle then from Alaska.
Yeah, you see, my daughter lives in Bellevue, so
yeah, that's right. Yeah, you've mentioned that. Yeah, in Washington State. So you'll go directly to Seattle then from on the West Coast there. So yeah,
I think when you mentioned that you had been down and done some investigating in Washington State, did you do any in Seattle?
No, they were actually in smaller towns. Again, with some local groups and that invited you along kind of thing and that. So that's where that kind of thing went with some local locations that they had permission to go into. And then one other time it was actually part of it was going in a little earlier to the local city cemetery and things like that. So, and then going to the actual other location. So, I mean, they had a lot of pioneer history, the towns and everything, very similar to some of the towns here in BC. So I could really relate to the history and everything with these towns and that. So it was really cool.
You know anybody from Seattle?
Well, besides I've met him as the guy that runs the museum there. Trying to
Ross Ellison.
That's it. Yeah, I was just couldn't remember. Yeah, I've met him and I know him.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah, he's a pretty nice guy. We've had some good chit chats together and that, so he's good. I mean, he's into doing a lot of presentations, and then he's been on Coast to Coast. I remember listening to him on there, and then he's done quite a lot of different things, gone on a few TV shows and that. So yeah, he's a pretty interesting guy, and yeah, he's been around doing ghost hunting for a long time. So yeah, I mean, he's not somebody that just started doing it in the last few years. So I have a lot of respect for him. He's as far as I'm concerned, he's a pretty interesting guy with what he's doing with his museum in the older part of Seattle.
Yeah, he is a great museum in there.
Yeah, and then they do special events and stuff as well there and that. So it's really cool.
I think we've been on like 3 different tours.
Yeah.
When we were there, we did one on the underground, and then we did one in the old section, and then we did one. God, what was it? He wanted me to go on the destroyer.
Oh, okay. One of the ships that are tied up that is decommissioned. Yeah, naval ship. Yeah.
She's
probably, that one would probably be in Everett, Washington. That's the big Navy base there is in Everett.
This one's over in Bremerton.
Oh, Bremerton. Yeah, pardon me. Yeah. Maybe I had the towns mixed. Okay, yeah. Bremerton. Yeah.
Yeah, she's there. I've been on her twice because she's the closest destroyer. She's a younger class than my father's.
Yeah.
And my father's was World War II.
Yeah.
And his was sunk off Okinawa.
Yeah.
And
so these vessels were actual destroyers, I would take. That were, of course, in live combat. Yeah. Well, I mean, even yes, there were the Korean War, and then of course the Vietnam War. I remember the USS Tripoli. It was a small aircraft carrier with Marines and that, and I remember there was kind of like a distant relative of ours, but he came to town, and so I went and I met him there, and it was kind of cool. And he was basically, he grew up as an American, but he was related to my family here through distant relations and stuff. But anyway, he was a Marine at that time, so I got to meet him there, and yeah, it was really cool. The history of that ship and everything. So I played a big part in the when Saigon was falling. A lot of the boat people they were rescuing with that vessel.
The one that's there is the Turner Joy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the Turner Joy was the one that started the Gulf of Tonkin resolution.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that played a big part.
Took a round on the back on the aft deck by the one of the 5-inchers. And just missed the magazine by about 2 feet.
Whoa.
And if it would have hit that magazine, that whole ship would have went. But anyway, she went all the way from there, all the way through, all the way to Saigon at the end, because she was direct support for them when they were trying to get everybody out of the embassy.
Yeah, exactly.
So they
had to airlift the people out of there, and then I remember. I mean, I was only in grade 5 when all that was happening. But my dad was a real news junkie, so when we had dinner, he had the news on every night, kind of thing. And I could still remember seeing people of that, getting into as planes were leaving, they were getting up into the landing gear, and then they would find them when they got to Hawaii or something like that. And yeah, I mean, some of them died that way, and some did survive, and all these little things. And then boat people, I remember all seeing that on the news of the Vietnam War, and then of course other footage before that my dad would see, the what you would see on international news kind of thing about the Vietnam War. I still remember that quite vividly as a kid.
It's a lot to remember.
Yeah, I mean, I was born in 1963, so I always say I was born in the same year John F. Kennedy died, so I was born, so that's, I mean, at that time period, there was a lot going on in North America at that time, all these little things going on, so.
Yeah, there's always something happening.
Yeah, and then I don't remember too much about his brother Bobby too much. I think I heard my dad mention this a little later or something. They may talk about it a little bit. It didn't come up the same on our news, or at least when I was watching it at supper time with my dad. It didn't, if they did, it just was a very small amount of news on it. So.
Okay, so let's cut it, since you had to go through all that, jump all those hoops in order to get on tonight. I apologize for that, but
it's just, who knows what happened there. It's probably technical errors and stuff. So maybe I'll see on my tablet in the future. I'll maybe just join YouTube or whatever, and then I can go into chat rooms, and that maybe that might work, and then for that. So I mean, what can I say? I mean, it happened, so, but I felt kind of bad, but at the same time it was out of my control, so
it's nobody's fault.
I mean, it was a great help of KD with that last link that was able to slip into the the studio room, so, because that's what was allowed. The other links weren't allowing me in, so.
Jenna, she's calling herself in the comments Goober in the starry sky. She says, "Have a good night, Greg and guest. Take care. What is your guest's name? I wasn't here at the start." This is the famous Bill Hauser, ITC gentleman who is a pioneer, I would say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have a good night too. It's, I just kind of came in about halfway through the show kind of thing. So, it's good. If you look my name up on the internet, you'll probably find a lot of stuff and shows that I've been on, and other information about me and that. So, just put in my name on Google. And
Lenny was still on here at 10:18.
I guess he's not doing a show tonight, so.
No, either that or he's starting at 11 or 11:30.
I know he did one last night, and I watched a little bit of it, but again, I was kind of busy with some other things, but I did catch a little bit. So, but he had a very interesting guest, so I can easily go in and listen to it after in the archive. So.
He's an old Chicago boy from.
Yeah, that's right. And now he lives in Arkansas. But I mean, he has a lot of knowledge about history and that. So that's what I like about Len. I mean, he's really cool. And then, of course, he's seen me do a lot of Ghost Box sessions on talk radio. So, and with different radio shows, not just one. And so, it's great. So when he asked me to come on his show, I was more than happy to do so. So
that's awesome. I want to go ahead and say thank you very much for being here tonight.
Well, thank you for having me on, and we'll have to do it again in the future, and hopefully we have a smoother ride next time. So,
and we'll do it a little closer. I hope. Thank you very much.
Well, you have a good trip up to Alaska there. It sounds like it's going to be a fun trip up there, and then coming back down by cruise ship and going into the Seattle area and through there, and your visit to your daughter. That'll be great. So that'll be a wonderful trip.
Yes, it will.
Alaska's a beautiful place. So
yep, I'm waiting for it. So it's going to be neat. So thank you very much, Bill. And this is Bill Hauser.
Thank you, and you have a good night. And say bye to all your great listeners out there.
Okay. You want to hang around for a few or not?
Yeah, we could chat for a few minutes offline or like off air. Yeah.
I just want to. I'll say good night to everybody here. And Shaw Woman, Lenny, still here. Yes, he says he's still here. Barbara Woodbury Spear. We had Jenna again. Carol Garcia is still here. Kim Baranski is another lady that works with me on the Wednesday show. So is Carol and Barbara. So 3 of them are on here. And we got Jim Amrit. And hopefully you're doing better, Jim. And we keep on going up and up and up. We got had a lot of people in here tonight, which is really neat.
Yeah, that's good.
I want to thank everybody in that Grimstone, Russell Reynolds. Everybody is in here. Joe Eldridge.
Pardon me.
So I want to say goodnight to everybody. Thank you for being here. Great show. And we'll see you next week, Wednesday, when Spirit Connects, 9:00 Central for Double S's session. So everybody have a great evening. Good night. Love you guys. Ha 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 ha.